Greetings once again to all my fellow watch enthusiasts on YouTube and Facebook and wherever else this video might be seen and shared. Celine Driver again, coming to you with my third of my three top watch videos. You might recall my first two were my top 5 Zelos watches and my top 5 Seiko watches. This one is my top 10 watches from my entire watch collection, including the Seiko and Zelos watches and encompassing some other watches in my collection. This was by far the hardest video of the three to make because I have quite a number of watches, and stay tuned for a State of the Collection series of watch videos. And picking out the top 10 was really difficult. I mean, some of them weren't difficult. You may recognize a few of these watches from the top 5 Zelos and the top 5 Seiko watch videos. And just eyeballing them, that encompasses 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the other half I had to pick from my other watches. So it wasn't easy. Bottom line, it really wasn't. So I'm going to start with number 10, which is up here. 109876 54321. And shocking, spoiler alert, shocking to probably everybody who's watched my videos, my number one favorite watch is not a Zelos. Sorry, Elshin. They got beat out just barely by this watch, which, if you watch a previous watch video of mine, represents a certain sentimental value to me, in addition to the watch itself. All these watches have been reviewed in detail, so if you're interested in a particular watch or watches, just run back through my archive. You'll see detailed watch videos on all of them. Model numbers, sizes, movements, blah, 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 blah. So I'm just going to go through these fairly quickly. My 10th favorite watch also happens to be the oldest watch in my collection. This is a Bulova. Yes, I pronounce it Bulova, not Bulova, which makes me crazy. This is a Bulova Accutron. This is one of the tuning fork watches. You can see the tuning fork right there. This is an electronic watch. It uses the vibration of the tuning fork to time the watch. This one happens to be a fairly rare Accutron in the fact that it is a space view, which isn't so rare, I guess, but in the fact that it is an 18 karat white gold, as you can see right there. 14 karat white gold, I'm sorry, not 18. It is also, if you can see it, focus, right there, it says M1. And date coding an Accutron is easy. An M is a 60s watch, and N, as in Nancy, is a 70s watch. And the digit is the year. So this is a 1961 watch. This watch is older than I am. And it's in better shape than I am. I got this watch from an Accutron, a guy who exclusively works on, repairs, restores, and sells Accutron watches. His name is Bob Piker. He is in the Midwestern part of the United States, and his website is mybob.net, mybob.net. His email is bob@mybob.net. If you go to his website and you own an Accutron, you can talk to him or email him about repair or restoration. If you're interested in buying an Accutron, I recommend not doing what I did and going to eBay, finding a watch, and then finding out it needs major work, and finding out that almost nobody works on these watches anymore with any kind of skill. If you buy one of his watches, it costs more up front, but you know that the watch actually works. This watch is in beautiful shape. You can see the high polish on the case. The crystal, which I believe is acrylic, is in beautiful shape. I admittedly don't wear this watch very much. It is rather a small watch by contemporary standards, but I do wear it. It keeps excellent time, and it's a beauty, and it's very collectible and very, very nice piece. And as I said, it's my oldest piece. Number 9 is one of my remaining Doxa watches, or Doxa if you prefer, but I say Doxa. This is one of their Caribbeans. The name of the watch is denoted by the color of the face, blues being Caribbean, orange professional, silver is Sea Rambler, yellow is Diving Star, and black is Shark Hunter. This is one of the Caribbean 750T GMTs. Not an easy watch to find. In fact, I know they don't make these watches anymore. They don't make GMTs anymore. They didn't make a lot of them, and I feel very fortunate to have gotten one. And as you all know, I'm a big fan of orange and blue, and that's why this watch is one of my favorites in my collection, and why I don't think I will ever sell it. It is a heavy, heavy dive watch. Solid chunk of stainless steel, and unique in the fact with the bezel, not only on the inner track of the bezel do you get the dive time in minutes like you see on a standard dive watch like, say, this one, but you also on the outer track get the dive table calculations corresponding to the amount of, the depth. Let's say, for instance, you go down to 70 feet. According to the dive table bezel part of this, you got 50 minutes of bottom time. I think that's right. I'm not a diver anymore. I could be wrong. But and you can see at 10 minutes you have roughly, at 135 feet you have roughly 10 minutes of bottom time, and so on. Bezel is very stiff, unidirectional. Mine's probably stiffer than most because it doesn't get turned very often. But it lines up just beautifully, as you can see. The inner track on the watch face is a 24-hour track for the GMT. And night and day, obviously, the night being the black, the day being the orange, and just an overall fantastic tool watch. Double fold clasp, fits beautifully, very heavy, very solid watch. Mine's in excellent shape because, quite honestly, I don't wear it as much as I should, and I'm going to make sure I try to wear this more often. But that's my number 9 watch. Number 8 is a watch it took me a long time to get a hold of, but love it to death. It's my Glycine. I call it my Gator because of the coloring, the blue face with the orange dive bezel. Beautiful action on this one. Lines up nicely. Gorgeous coloring. I believe this watch preceded Glycine being bought out by Invicta. Just a lovely overall, beautiful watch to wear. I wear this on most games where the Florida Gators are playing football. It brings me luck. Beautiful sunburst blue dial. Look at the way it plays in the light. And very thin for an automatic. And it just wears very well, and I just love that watch to death. Number 10, 9, 8, 7. Number 7 is my Seiko Pogue. Just love the combination of that Pepsi bezel with that gold sunburst dial. I fell in love with this style of watch ever since I saw a picture of one. Took my time, found one that was in really, really good shape, saved the nickels and dimes, found one that was in good shape, bought it, sized it with difficulty, and just love that watch. Number 6 is one of my Zelos watches. This is the Sky Raider in bronze with the full skeleton treatment. This watch, as I had mentioned before, belonged to my father. He bought it as his second Zelos watch. He's very impressed with Zelos, and he's very impressed with Elshin's design. However, at his age, his hands are not quite as nimble as they used to be, and this is a very hard watch to wind for him, so he decided to let me keep it for him. He still calls me and says, bring that over, let me wear it for a couple of days. And, of course, he's my father. I oblige that. Number 5 is a watch that I hunted for a good while and indulged myself in, which is a Breitling. This is, of course, the Aerospace, the Ante Digi, which I just love this watch. It's a titanium watch in excellent shape. I did have a little hiccup with it when I bought it, but I had that corrected fairly quickly. The seller was very good to work with, and it's just a beautiful watch. My first Breitling, definitely not my last one. Long term, I have my eye on a Navitimer Cosmonaut with the panda face, probably a blue with the silver subdials. But for now, this one will do nicely. It's a very comfortable watch to wear, very easy to read, fits in all kinds of different circumstances, from sporty to formal. And this was a birthday present for myself for earlier this year, and I just love the watch. It's just really a gorgeous piece. Number 4 watch was my number 1 favorite Seiko. This, of course, is the Ripley. It's the one of the chronographs. What is that guy's name? Giardo? Whatever. It's one of his. This is one of the Ripleys that they recreated from the Aliens movie, and one of the 5 Aliens watches that I have. But this one is my favorite Seiko. I do wear this. I don't wear it often, but I do wear it. It does see the light of day, and very easy to read dial. I love the aesthetic of it. Is very unusual. People comment on it all the time, and it is fully functional. Chronograph works, the date function works, everything works, and it was bought with a complete kit, so it was a very good purchase for me. I'm very happy that I took my time and found one in good shape. Number 3 is my Zelos Horizons Aventurine with that beautiful, sparkling, gorgeous dial. Just love this GMT watch. It's, I believe, their first GMT. I love the decoration with the custom rotor, the decoration of the movement, with all the pelage, and the Geneva stripes. Yes, I remembered the words Geneva stripes. I forgot who reminded me of that after I did my review, but I remember that, so I'm going to try and remember that from now on. Great watch, wears beautifully, great size, not too big, not too small. Just very happy with that watch overall. And of course, my favorite Zelos, the number 1 from that video, was and is my Zelos Zx7 Titanium Damascus, or Timascus, if you will, with the beautifully decorated movement. That one definitely has prominent Geneva stripes, and a beautifully done rotor. But the highlight of this watch is the case. That titanium Damascus that's been heat treated and blued nicely. Nice functioning chronograph, very accurate watch, especially considering that it is an automatic and not a quartz. But it has a very good, robust movement in there. And definitely my favorite Zelos. And obviously number 2 on my list. And it would be number 1 if it weren't for the presence of my Rolex GMT Master 2. Sorry, it's not a Master 2. This was a Pepsi bezel. I changed it to a Coke bezel. I still have the Pepsi bezel in the box. But I changed this to a Coke bezel after my father bequeathed it to me. He had this for a while. He wore it. Then he picked up a newer Pepsi and said, go ahead. And this one needed a service, so he said, go ahead and get this thing serviced, and then you can play with it for as long as you want. So this was my father's watch. My father is still with us, by the way, this being June 2019. So at the time I made this, my father is still with us and doing very well. But this watch is very special to me because it belonged to my father and now it's mine. That makes this watch a legacy. And that's why this watch is my favorite watch. Of all the watches I have, this one is number 1. And I don't see any watch that I will ever acquire replacing it. I don't care if I end up with a Patek. I don't care if I end up with an AP. I don't care if I end up with a Ulysses Nardin. I don't care if I end up with a Rolex Daytona. This will be my favorite because it was my father's. And that's it. That's my top 10. Hope you enjoyed that. Got some more videos coming. I do have a state of the collection coming soon enough. Don't know exactly when, but I'll get them out. I'll get it out there, and hopefully you'll enjoy those videos as well. So for the time being, if you like the video, a thumbs up would be very nice. I appreciate those. Comments, questions, suggestions down there. I read them all. I respond to them all. And if you're not already a subscriber, please go ahead and click the subscribe button and click the bell icon so when it comes time to put new content up, you'll be alerted. I hope you enjoyed this video. I enjoyed making it. I enjoyed making the decisions to make it. And I will catch you soon enough.